Welcome back, children of the popcorn. It is I, Mr. Popcorn. We're doing something special, something we haven't done before today, and hopefully it's fun or less painful. That depends on your point of view. All right.
Yeah.
So who do I have with me? I have my old cohort here to my right, top screen, with the beard.
Okay, that narrows it down. Hi, it's the Baron. Welcome to this. We're recording at night now, so good night, good evening, however you want to say it. So yes, we're doing a Walkden publicity double feature tonight, which will be a lot of fun, hopefully.
And our guest pretty much become a regular member, verging towards family. Suxy is back with us. How are you today?
I'm good. Looking forward to speaking about these films.
Excellent, excellent. So, shout out Walkden Publicity. Thank you, Peter. Walkden Publicity /entertainment. Look them up. We'll link them up. Check them out. They've sent another couple of films to us. We're going to do one after the other, a little bit of an interval in between. We are going to start with The Island, otherwise called Haunted Heart. Okay, so this film, if anyone's seen it, let us know, because had anyone heard of this film whatsoever before tonight?
No.
I'd seen a trailer for it, but only because Matt Dillon features in some of my algorithm.
Understood. I am a fan of the man myself. So, Haunted Heart, what year are we looking at there? 2024. It's available on VOD, like all of these Walkden Entertainment publicity films. Okay, so the director is Fernando Trueba. I can fairly say, just for my IMDb, no horror links whatsoever. Here's another movie here, Bella y Puck. Chico and Rita, which I thought was interesting. The name Chico comes back. Twisted Obsession. It's not horror at all. It's all playing around exotic romantic comedies with a lot of kind of love for music seems to come through as well, which we see in The Island. We're going to call it Haunted Heart from here on in. Okay.
It does have another name. Where it comes from, it is called Isla Perdida.
Thank you. Nice pronunciation. Okay, so the big star, pretty much the only person I know at all, is Matt Dillon, who plays our lead, Max, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The lead female is played by Ada Fulch, and she is playing Alex or Alexandra. Okay, let's just stop there for a moment. This film, how would we classify it in terms of genre? Whoever wants.
Thriller, maybe?
Romantic drama thriller?
Romantic drama thriller, yeah. Is it thrilling? Just yes or no for now.
I mean, it's got its moments.
Yeah.
It does have its moments. Few and far between in the run length. Yeah. Yeah. But we'll get into it. I am jumping the gun. Is there anyone else in the cast who stood out to you? Because don't have a lot of credits. I'm sure they do where they come from. But in terms of Americanized West, Anglo-sized West.
I mean, I liked Chico. I mean, other than Matt, I think I liked Chico probably the most. Nothing he's been in I've seen other than this. And I liked our main character. She was nice.
Yeah.
I think
she was good.
We had that nice little sort of juxtaposition between the way Matt Dillon was and the way she was that really gave them that chemistry.
Duxie, does your chair go up at all? You're being cut off for the chin there a little bit.
Moment.
Just so you know. You're all good. So, what is it about? There's not a lot of information online, yeah? Because the Walkden films, they're working with us to help get the word out about these films, and there's not a lot of word out about them to begin with, certainly with this one. Okay. Now, yes, Lost Island, Isla Perdida, Haunted Heart, also known as The Island, is 2024 thriller films. On here is on Wikipedia as a thriller. It was written by Trueba and Rylan Grant, and it stars Matt Dillon and Ada Fulch. All right. It is set in a remote Greek island. The plot involves Spanish woman Alex entering to work in a seaside restaurant managed by American owner Max, himself with a dark and mysterious past. That's pretty much the setup.
Dark and mysterious.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got big eyebrows and he furrows his brow a lot.
He broods.
He certainly broods. Dylan is a good brooder, though. That's pretty much the setup. She has to beg to get the job because it took her 3 extra days to get to the island based on a whole bunch of drama being overseas and things going wrong. The job has been given to someone else when she arrives. I believe it's the hostess job. But he tries to explain to her first, we do need a server. So that job is open if you want that. But of course, she's a fiery Hispanic. Yeah. That is shown in this film. It's a big character trait of hers because they actually play with the anger, the fire in between both characters a bit. That was one of the more interesting aspects of this film. But she does end up listening once Max finally does say, hey, listen, look, you've got a job here. You don't need to go. And then she settles into island life. A mutual interest is shared, more so from Alex towards Max to begin with, certainly. And that is basically it's like a really pretty, it's like a real pretty setting, and there's a romantic comedy going on basically at the start. Would you agree?
Yeah. My first four notes were nice location, beautifully shot, interesting character stakes, and these people are all ridiculously attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. And it is very, very idyllic. Alex is fiery, but she's also very kind-hearted. She's very lovable. Max is a perfectionist, detail. He's a details man because he is a restaurant owner. He is a restaurateur, and you can tell this is his passion. This is what he loves, absolutely. You do get these certain flashes of what's up with Max because they ask at the start, I think Alex asked the others, what's his history? What's up with Max? And they say to her, no one really knows Max. He keeps very much to himself. Yeah.
The question I kept asking myself throughout the start of this was, what is he running from?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Now, it does build to a sense of ownership of Alex by Max. Yes. It becomes a sense and Chico as well. But Chico, in that sense with his relationship to women and females, what did we think of Chico in that way?
They both took ownership of her, but it was in very different ways.
Yeah.
It was sort of, one of them was a bit more creepy than the other.
Yes. Yeah. Excuse me, because Alex is Hispanic and the others are Mediterranean. They don't hide the stereotypes, I guess, of passion, that they are passionate people. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he's dancing with everyone. He goes on about his love with women, but they do show that Chico does care. Chico, if he sees someone is distressed, if he sees someone is with someone else, he doesn't creep on them in those moments and those situations. Yeah. Max is a completely different type creep.
Yeah.
Because she had to break through a brick wall to get Max to look at her, which is, Baron, do you think that's because Max knows who he is and where he will go if he becomes close to someone?
I think he's hiding a lot of who he actually is from everybody. I think it's become his everyday, and I think he built a wall that she had to break through. I don't know that once she got there, she liked what she found, but I think it wasn't necessarily that he was creepy, but it wasn't necessarily that he was creepy. It was that he was hiding an awful lot of who he was from everybody. And I think he worried when she started to break through that she was going to find out who he was and not like him.
You reckon he wanted to be liked? He wanted to be loved?
Everybody does.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, even if they are murderers. Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of the time it's a blow to the head and a bad relationship with the mother not being loved. Yeah, that is two of the classic kind of signs. So, yeah.
Facebook full of dead teenagers.
Matt Dillon, what did we think of his creep and what do we think of Matt Dillon in general? Because he's done this before, this type of role.
Yeah, he's got a face you can hate.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Why is that?
Well, going back to the comment that I made, the fourth line, which was, these people are all ridiculously attractive. Now that goes for Matt Dillon as well. Like, his face hides that darkness, but he's got that skill where he can let you know through his face that their darkness is there.
Absolutely.
And
he does a villain look very, very well, but in a subtle way.
Well, he shows a lot of inner turmoil in a subtle way. And then when the darkness comes through, it makes sense. Yeah, of course it does. Because he has shown this in spades in the house that Jack built.
Yeah.
Fantastic film.
Yeah. Because this is basically a lifetime version of that role in a way. Yeah. This is very much a lifetime thriller. If you like lifetime thrillers, this movie's for you. That's because I've figured out how to recommend this film. Who would like this film? Lifetime thriller people, I think, would like this because it is beautiful. At times, it was like watching Chocolat or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of the scenery and the way it was captured through the lens.
They used the locations so well.
Yeah, they did. I mean, when she just stays in the little shack before she gets given her own place on the mainland, and when she opens it up to the sea, and then she opens it up to the trees and the grass on the other window, and as such, it's like, it's really nice.
I'd stay there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Does that take away from the thrill aspect, the menace that they're trying to create with the film?
I don't think so. It's almost like a juxtaposition.
Yeah. But I think that juxtaposition would have been far stronger if this movie was shorter. Because there's the build-up of getting Max to see Alex, that could have been way shorter. When we got to, know Max's dangerous
would that have been
piece.
earned, though? Would that have been earned?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Because I think Matt Dillon could get there that quicker. The others, I don't know. Yeah. Is that fair to say, though, that this movie could have been a lot more thrilling if the build-up of the character relationships had been more condensed?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
But then would it have been earned? So is this actual romantic thriller? Sorry, Baron?
I was going to say, if I was writing this, I'd have written Chico out and I'd have written in a jealous ex-boyfriend that's tracking her across Europe, and he turns up to the restaurant and Matt Dillon's character then gets rid of him, rather than lovely Chico, who's just a nice guy who started to get feelings for the wrong person because she's got feelings for the resident psychopath.
Yeah. And then you could reveal more slowly in a more interesting way Max's true nature as well.
Yeah. That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
No, because Max gets jealous of Chico. Yeah, because Chico and Alex become close because she starts to learn certain truths. Well, certain mistruths that Max has given her to begin with, like the clarinet's the first one. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oboe? Clarinet. Yeah.
Yeah. As when he breaks is when she's yelling about, no, it's the other family. It's the other kids. Max has other kids from another past relation. She finds the photo first. Yeah. And she gets quite upset about that, as you would.
Yeah.
And she gets Hispanic about it and starts shouting at him, and he tries to explain. But then we see him break. He picks up a chair and smashes it, and his voice raises. Yeah. That's his first break. Yeah. But they don't break because they were both breaking at the same time. That's why I mentioned the dual fiery nature. Yeah. That's why we're meant to believe Alex stays with her longer than she really should. Yeah.
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 I mean, she's got to peel him like an onion to get to everything underneath, and everything's a layer. Like every time you think she's got through to him, there's another wall, there's another layer of the onion.
Is it realistic? Is it believable? Was a better question that she would stick with him.
I think so, because it
up at
does
this point
happen.
with the chair, it does happen.
Yeah,
she was shouting at it. Yeah,
I think there's realism in this.
Yeah, there is, but it gets worse. Absolutely. Yeah, they discover the clarinet, and he goes, "Oh, someone else left it here. With the rest of the other junk, my past is junk." Yeah. Sorry, Baron?
Yeah, I was just going to, people shouldn't lie in relationships because they're going to find out.
Yeah.
Like, if you're with someone long enough, every lie will peel away. Honesty is the best thing. Like, they have a really nice relationship trauma, deep and meaningful, really early in the film that makes you feel like that there's that connection. And then every consequent revelation just puts that further and further away from the truth. So they've really only got themselves to blame for this, for not telling the truth at the start.
Yeah. But, I mean, the record, the fact that he was a musician under another name, he had a nom de plume as a musician, being a clarinet player. And it's not my type of music, but it was very well done. Yeah. When she played it in the restaurant. Yeah, because Chico has the record couriered to him, goes on the boat here. Here's the record. She plays it right in the restaurant during service. Yeah, you're going to lie to me, motherfucker? Here's the truth, and everyone's going to hear it. Yeah. Bold move. The third third revelation, though, is something that telling at the start of the relationship would not have helped, because Chico has been banished via Max. Yeah. Max. Chico gets to see the real Max for the first time at his house.
Yeah.
He's banished. You may not speak to my girl ever again. This is where we see Max's real fucking dick side come through.
Yeah.
But he finds out now. What were the exact details? He had killed people in a bay. It mentions it on the boat.
Yeah.
I forget. I forget the exact details. But he's murdered people in the past. Yeah, he is a murderer. And Chico has found out the truth, and he's come to tell Alex. And then we get the great hunt, the greatest game scenario, basically on the island with Alex running away from Max.
The note that I've got here for that was explanation time: estranged family, drugs, death.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Because he is drugging her. He is drugging her a lot. Once he basically gets her back to his house, because she sees a party boat out in the water, tries to call to her. She doesn't have a flare or anything, but of course she's shouting and yelling. And Max, of course, can hear everything in the island because they've been left alone because it's seasonal work.
It's off season,
which we were told at the beginning, where was first getting the job properly, as the hostess, that's hospitality. That's how it works. And I liked that little bit where they're watching the last wave sail away of customers, and it looks like we're alone now, something along those lines. And they're both looking out, and we see Max's face do the evil eye, do furrowed eyebrow. Really good. Yeah, it was good. Again, that's Jack from the house that Jack built in that moment. There you are. There you are. Yeah. And do we want to say how it ends?
Look, children, go and see it. Go find it on streaming. If you're interested, go and watch it. We are going to spoil the end. We're not going to go through the whole plot, but we will spoil the ending here. I mean, we've kind of got to, so that way we can reveal why it kind of fits our genre. So there are, go away and now come back. So there are 2 deaths in this film during the runtime of the film. Obviously, Matt Dillon's character Max reveals that there has been death in his past, but Max kills Chico over jealousy, basically. And the throat slice was really nice. It was a really nice practical effect. I thought it was well done.
We do get to see some gore at the end. It was really good. It was really good. Yeah.
And then obviously, as Mr. Popcorn was saying, like there's the dangerous game thing. Man is the most dangerous game of all. So I'm going to hunt this woman across this tiny, tiny island. And then she eventually gets captured, as we say. I did make a note here before, so he buries Chico on the island, and the way she finds Chico's body, really old school, long-term mobile phone batteries, like the kind of battery that lasts, you charge your phone once a week.
Nokia's. The phone use was really good, because 2001, those are the phones that we had. I had one of those phones. Could you silence them?
Yeah.
It was just the volume
but you had
down.
to take the battery out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Now, question though. I know it's a horror. Well, it's a film. Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Could she have heard the mobile phone through the earth at a distance? That's why I was going,
It's a stretch.
Yeah.
Those phones could get pretty loud.
Yeah. And Chico's the kind of prick that would have his phone up loud too.
I reckon.
Yes. Okay. That's an explanation. That's good enough for me. He would as loud as possible. Yes. More of the ladies.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Chico was fine. Chico was fine.
So at this point of the film, she's sleeping rough on the island. So he captures her, and then
because she shouts and cries with the party boat going away, and Max hears her, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So then they've got that weird sort of Stockholm syndrome thing happening where they're both still in the restaurant, and she's trying to get a weapon. He's leaving them out as a test, and it all gets very giving with one hand, taking away with another.
Cut.
Yeah.
At this point, cut.
Yeah. And I think it was the knife that he killed Chico with.
Was that a knife?
The knife on the breakfast tray.
Yeah. I know the one. Yeah, where it goes, put it back. Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah. Okay, let's go. So there's a link there.
Yeah. So then she stabs him. He gets too close. She's got a knife. She stabs him and then burns down the restaurant.
And then just sits there okay, Max is dead. I wasn't sold by it. Like the character that you build up, and then suddenly go, okay, I am a piece of shit. You're right.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I mean, greater punishment would be to leave him breathing and burn the restaurant down around him, killing
Absolutely.
him with fire,
Yeah.
and then sitting outside on the steps like it's the end of Ready or Not.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Absolutely. Because that's the thing, is the build up to this. It just, there was no impact by the end. There was
Maybe they looked at the runtime and went, "Oh, we can't spend any time on this. We've already got an hour and a half."
Yeah, exactly. But that said, there are a lot of films out there like this that follow this model that people do like. If you like your lifetime style thrillers, your daytime thrillers, this is absolutely for you. And it is something that you can watch with the family. Just give the heads up. There's a couple of slightly bloody moments in it. Yeah.
A little bit of adult activity.
Yeah. Would you call it a gateway to horror? I wouldn't.
I don't think I would.
No.
A gateway to thriller, maybe.
A gateway to thriller. So if you like lifetime thriller movies and you're a fan of Matt Dillon,
Matt Dillon.
Yeah, that's how
I
would
could
sell
definitely
it.
see this being a midday movie, just
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're really hungover, don't want to think, just look at pretty nature and have a thrill here and there. Nothing that will get the heartbeat racing too much.
Yeah.
If you can't find the remote,
Yes, but that said, it definitely has an audience, so do check it out. Thank you, Peter Walkden Entertainment publicity again. And thank you for sending us this film. So let's rate it. I'll finish off since I'm hosting. Suxy, what do you think? What are you giving it?
Ooh, it's a 2.5 from me. I enjoyed aspects of it. It's not my usual sort of film. I wouldn't maybe choose to watch it personally, but I did enjoy the characters. And I tell you what, I loved that end scene when the building's on fire and the camera pans back out to sea, and that I don't know what the song was at the end, but it was really fitting. I quite enjoyed that.
Actually, it was a good song, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Thinking back on it, the music was pretty good.
The music was actually pretty good in this film. Yeah, because even the incidental music before the jazz came out, it worked, it suited, it fit very well. Yeah. The editing was a bit all over the place. Some of the transitions, like you're trying to build up intense scenes and suddenly they're in another location. Yeah. Did you spot that business going on? Yeah. Just
Again,
stuff like that.
As far as that's why I think it would be a midday movie, because that's the point where you go to an ad break and then you come back.
Yeah. It was probably an ad break that was actually in the original cut. Yeah. And they've had it put together just like back in the day with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. When you watch it in DV, there's these little blackout moments in the middle of episodes. That's for your ads. Yeah. So that could be something actually. Yeah.
I think I'll also sit at around the 2.5, 2.75. I really liked the location. I really liked Matt Dillon in this. I enjoyed all of the performances. It was a beautiful location. I think I wanted more thrill. It needed just to be a little bit more thrilling to be that more sort of horror thriller. Having said that, both the deaths were good, and I really enjoyed the music, and it was technically a good film. So I'm probably going to sit at about a 2.5.
Yeah. I'm the same. It is a 2.5 for me. It certainly gets a pass. Certainly no honors or anything like that. But from what my cohorts here have said, like if you want something during the middle of the day, not too taxing, and you enjoy Matt Dillon, absolutely check it out. And if this does spark your interest, what I'll say as a gateway kind of avenue here, go check out 90s thrillers. Yeah. Because the 90s, there was a shit ton of them, and they got good at them to the point where the reveal that the handsome guy turns out to be a monster. When you get into the monster territory of the film, some of those back in the day 90s thrillers were excellent. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will call out, if we're going down that path, my favorite of those would have to be The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Amazing film. John Delancey, who plays Q in Star Trek The Next Generation, played a bit part in it as a gynecologist. And I got the opportunity to tell him that I stood up in the cinema when he does a particularly nasty move where he's examining a woman, and he puts his hand down and takes the gloves off to then examine the woman, which is super creepy. And I got to tell him that I stood up in the theater and just yelled no at the screen. And
You
he
do
said,
that a
"Thank you."
bit. You do that a bit.
I do. I get very emotional in film.
It's good. Oh, it's great.
Very
I love it. I love it. Yeah, so The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Check that out if you want a taste of, really good 90s thriller for where this could go. But if you want the more mellow approach, check this out first. There you go. There you go. So it's a 2.5, all round.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2.75,
Yeah, somewhere between 2.5 and 3. So it's not, again, not a terrible film. It's not crap. It is not burnt. This is not burnt. So thank you, Peter Walkden, once more. And now I'm pretty sure we're going to go to interval. Let's do.
Ooh, actually, I've got a question for Soxy though. Just for a bit of history for the podcast. Both Mr. Popcorn and I gave less than favorable reviews to two films. The two films were Night Swim and Tarot. So do you have a pricey opinion of Night Swim and Tarot, or have you seen them?
I've seen Night Swim. I don't think I've seen Tarot yet.
You can throw imaginary in there if you wish as well.
I didn't mind
That's from me. That's from me. Yeah.
Look, I love a good aquatic horror, so yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's aquatic. I guess it's aquatic.
Anything, I like spooky things and scary things like set around the water. So I guess I'm a little bit biased in that way. Like it wasn't brilliant, but I did have fun with it.
Did you watch the short film?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, isn't it? The short film was excellent. The short film was
Absolutely.
excellent. Is there a film from last year or just recent times or just in general of a horror film that you were just like, nah, I can't do it? Because I get the feeling you were very generous. You're positive with reviews. You go for the
try
Kevin
to find
Smith
the positive.
approach. Yep, which is all good. But is there anything out, but just from my end, being the critic, is there anything out there that you're just like, nah, get it away from me, throw it out the window?
I don't know what year it came out. A few of my friends I know will definitely agree. Quite a few years ago now, there was a film called The Jungle. I'd have to see when it came out. It was not great.
Scott agrees. Baron agrees. Jungle. The Jungle.
I think it was Australian film.
It was difficult.
The found footage and the shaky cameras and oh boy. Look, it had its moments far and few, but oh boy.
It's Daniel Radcliffe.
No. Very different film.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no.
Australian?
I believe it was.
I'll just see if I can find. I won't go too deep. 2013?
That's quite possibly it.
Indonesian forest demon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because I'm, a white middle-aged white guy. It was I think it was their first ever attempt at filmmaking, and it was really cheap.
Yeah.
It was really cheaply made. Having said that, not good.
Okay. The Jungle.
Look, it had a few little fun scenes here and there. I could give it at that. But watching it on the big screen with the shaky cams, look, I don't like a lot of shaky cam stuff. It makes me feel a bit queasy after a while, and this was a lot.
Yeah, okay, I get you. Thank you for that. And to that end, if there is a film, Australian, otherwise horror or adjacent, that you want to review and want us to cover with you, let us know, yeah?
I will. I've got a list.
Oh, fantastic. Good. Is that all for now before we go to interval and come back with your film there, Barrett? Let's do that, yeah?
I think so. Yeah.
And that has been The Island/Haunted Heart, Mr. Popcorn. See you soon, children. See you soon.
Welcome back after the interval there, children, for our Walkden publicity double feature with The Island, otherwise known as Haunted Heart first, and the second film, which is called DarkGame, which is a bit more up our street, speaking as a horror podcast. So, DarkGame, before we get into the nitty-gritty admin of this, what were people's initial thoughts of this?
Vanessa?
I thought it was a lot of fun. It's not the strongest film I've ever seen in this genre, but the characters were interesting. writing, especially our main villain, and I did enjoy aspects of the game.
Yeah, I pretty much echo that. Absolutely. It's not the strongest representative of this type of horror, of this sub-genre, but some elements of the game were absolutely fantastic. The host had dark riz out the yayo, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, as I say, as long as you've got the dark web and the DarkGame element in place, you can pretty much do whatever you want around it. Yeah. So I wasn't interested in what this film was doing around those aspects, but those aspects were strong enough for not to worry or really hurt the score that much. Yeah.
No, I'd agree. Look, I had a lot of fun with this. It really felt like a double episode of a comic book based TV series.
Yeah.
Where they're racing against the clock to beat a supervillain.
Sure. Like that Luther TV series film. Yeah. Kind of reminded me a little of that. Anyway, not to digress.
So look, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Will I rewatch it? Probably not soon, but it's certainly something that I would recommend people to watch if they're looking for something in this genre. All right. So let's get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty of this. So once again, thank you to Walkden Publicity, Walkden Entertainment for providing this to us. Greatly appreciated. This one's more up our alley. So more of these would be good. That would be excellent. So this is a film made in 2024. Production company is Happy Hour Productions. Now it appears to have been set in America. However, it was made in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
I couldn't find a budget for it. And the basic premise for those people interested is it's basically there's a killer with his cadre of goons who live streams the murders on the dark web for money in the form of a kind of a twisted game show called Russian Roulette.
Yeah, it's playing on Red Rooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
People say that it's a conspiracy theory. I reckon they're real because this kind of thing has been going on since Victorian times. If you've seen Penny Dreadful, they have a scene, and I think the third season or the second season, which they have a Red Room enacted. Yeah, that is basically the origins of all this. I have not been on the dark web and I don't plan to because, and I don't want to be arrested. But the dark web, I think, does contain this type of thing. In my belief and what I've looked into.
Certainly in parts of it, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So yes, look, called DarkGame. The director is a gentleman by the name of Howard J. Ford in some credits. Independent filmmaker. Seems to do this sort of film. So we've got films like called The Ledge and Escape and Never Let Go. They are these kind of micro-budget thrillers, horror, edge of horror kind of films.
Okay. And is he British himself? Howard Short sounds very British. He doesn't sound European to any distinct degree. Yeah.
No. Well, everything he's done seems to be in the UK and sort of nearby Europe.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, the writer of this. My mouse isn't working now. Great. So the writers of this are Tom George, Gary Grant, not Cary Grant as I originally thought, and Niall Johnson. So Tom George, not a lot of horror in his background, lots of TV and executive producer roles, but not a lot of writing. So I think this might actually be his first writing credit.
Okay.
Gary Grant would be known for very little that we've seen. A lot of TV, a lot of shorts and music videos. So not a lot of features. There was the one I think that I have seen. He's a co-writer on a film called Nessie about the Loch Ness Monster.
Okay.
Love cryptids.
Yes.
Of course.
And Niall Johnson, the third writer of three. Not a lot of, once again, horror stuff. Mostly directing, not a lot of writing. So maybe these three got together in a pub, got drunk and went, I've got this really good idea for this game show. I think, though, just from my personal opinion, just to get this out at front, I think the best decision this film made was casting Andrew Stephen as the presenter.
Yeah.
Directly off the stage, he's been in like 4 things. He's a Shakespearean actor. He's done 14 seasons at the Cambridge Shakespeare Festival. Beth, Iago, Petruchio, Angelo, Benedict. Like he's been the lead in so many Shakespearean performances.
Yeah, you can see that in his performance here. Yeah. No, nicely pointed out, definitely.
But I think that was the best decision that the production made, which was casting him. I think he was excellent in his role. He gave that lovely whimsical menace Yes.
And that's him behind me with the chainsaw of fun that
Yes.
I was watching.
Hence the outfit with mask.
And
So
Baron, looking at IMDb here, he's on Silo. A lot of people talk about Silo. That's an Apple TV show, a sci-fi, which a lot of people like. I haven't looked at it at all, but cool. Yeah, so he's around. He's still around. Yeah.
100%. So, but he's only in one episode of Silo.
Oh, is he? Okay.
So,
okay.
But a lot of people talking about it. So, I mean, that's great that he's got that work. With the rest of the cast, what do we think was, other than the presenter, who do we think was the standout?
That's kind of where this film fell down a little bit for me.
Okay.
Yeah, not overly memorable and kind of playing on kind of character tropes we've seen before. That's my big critique. Yeah.
So our two main characters, other than the presenter, are obviously Katja and the director and the detective. So out of our two other main cast, did we have a preference for the final girl?
Definitely Katja. Yeah. There was actually, now that I think about it, the way she navigated the situation, I liked her characterization of that. Yes, you thought she was quite vulnerable at first because she's presented to be very meek and mild, trying to get a new job. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But her arc is quite good, how she gains inner strength. So when the next victim, the next captive comes along, she's relaying the rules of the situation for survival that will relate to her in the beginning. Yeah, I did like that. So Katja, definitely. Yeah.
Did we have a favorite kill?
Oh, yeah, it's behind me. Yeah.
The chainsaw, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Because if I may, just for a moment, with the red rooms, of those who don't know, and this is a horror podcast, I'm about to go dark. The rules of the game, basically, if you pay enough, you get to choose how you torture, maim, and eventually kill the captive / victim. Yeah. So this is the opening of the movie and opening of the game for the viewer. And if I remember rightly, there were 3 choices. So someone from Germany, can we leave the Germans alone, please? Someone from Germany watching the game, very, very rich, pays the right amount of money. So they have 3 choices to torture the person that you can see behind me there. We don't know who they are. This is the first we see of the game. We're watching as the cops watch. And finesse, it was deadly injection via a hypodermic needle. Then there was brutality, or brute, he called it, which was a straight up baseball bat. And then fun, which is a fucking chainsaw. And of course, Mr. Germany chooses it's got to be fun. I've got to go with fun. Yeah. And so that whole setup was classic, and it was done really well. Yeah.
I like that as well. I liked the branding element as well. That was a nice touch. That he brands all the victims. What did we think of the practical effects? Okay. Well, let's call out the chainsaw scene. So we don't actually see an awful lot of on-screen spraying gore. We see him approach with the chainsaw, we hear the noise, and then it cuts to the body lying on the floor with the blood around it.
Yeah. He's no art, I can say that. There was no art in a shower scene.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen more of the kill scenes instead of a lot of it was cutting away and then you saw the aftermath, or you'd see a spray of blood here and there. But I understand they had a small budget. They did what they could with what they had, but just wanted a little bit more.
What's the rating
I'd agree.
on this? What's the rating? What's the rating on this? Do you know, Baron?
I'm presuming. Well, I mean, that's the other thing too. Like, it really does depend on where you are in the world. I think an American R.
It's an American R. Well, if it is an R, then lean into the gore, because you're making this type of film based on this subject. You're going to have a niche audience. Yeah, this isn't going to be a breakthrough film. So cater to your niche audience. If you're going to put it as an R, make it an R in that sense. Yeah, because the chainsaw kill scene, the setup was great, but we just saw a plastic body flopping and flailing a couple of times, and then being crooked at the end with blood splayed across her. That was pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. It does.
I'm wondering if it's a censorship thing. They're trying to meet a certain censorship age bracket to get a bigger audience.
Yeah, I find a lot of horror films are doing that lately. They want to go for the 15-year-olds, but I'm telling you now, us 18-plussers, we want horror.
It doesn't specify. Where do we even find that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But that's just a thought that may be towards how they approached
Could have been.
budget, censor, whatever censoring needed to go on. Yeah.
So the closest I can get to that is IMDb has a section here called the Parents Guide, where it says sex and nudity none, violence and gore severe, profanity moderate, alcohol and drug smoking none, frightening and intense scenes severe.
I wouldn't call it severe.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
no.
severe.
No way.
I mean, Terrifier 3. Have we seen that IMDb? Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Ratings. So in Finland, it's K16. Germany, it is unrated. Netherlands, it's 16. Russia, it's 18 plus. United Kingdom, it's 18.
United Kingdom, it's 18. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it that. I'd give
Neither
it an
would
M.
I.
I'd give it
Yeah.
an M. It's pretty much an M15 for us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
I would agree.
Yeah, but thank you for that. Just wanted to bring that up. But Baron, your kill scene.
Yeah.
Fave.
A favorite kill scene. I'm a sucker for Russian roulette, and I really like the Russian roulette scene.
Same.
I think, though, you're right. I think the cutaway to the spray of blood, I think I would have liked to have seen more.
There wasn't enough blood in this film. Like, even with the chainsaw, what you see of the body, you don't really see a wound. You don't really see, there's just a bit of blood there. I would expect more.
And you're presenting the presenter as a sadist, as a straight up sadist. Show the sadism.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
makes him
not.
Please.
No, the people at home are the sadists.
That is true.
He's
Well,
just
give the
basically
people at home what they want.
Yeah. Good point. But he's just facilitating it.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to make that type of social message, though, which maybe this film was trying to do, make it more severe. The message is stronger. Yeah. Especially where the dark web doesn't fuck around. That's not a compliment, but it just doesn't fuck around. Yeah.
No. So I think what they've done is they've tried to appeal to the lowest common denominator. They're trying to keep the film open in certain fields, so they haven't lent into the gore like a Terrifier does.
You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember Tarsim Singh's The Cell?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember? Remember that we had the villain in the villain's world, and then the cop goes into that world, and then we had all the real life external stuff, which was meh, but the stuff within, the villain's mind, his subconscious or whatever you want to call it, amazing, But this is what this film reminds me of a bit,
I had a good time watching it. I really enjoyed it. I felt its budget though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And again, within that's a big part of the practical effects. Could affect that.
And it was very definitely a cinematic world. Like, okay, you can't destroy a padlock with one bullet. Like, there's so much of this had kind of cartoon logic to it. So maybe we can't put real world rules on it.
But they were trying to show the real world versus this, dark world created though at the same time. This is the schism, the production unease in this film. That's the way to put it. But still, the game stuff, great. Yeah,
it was very good. I liked setting in the warehouse. I liked the misdirect for the police to the wrong warehouse. That was really nice.
That was good.
I kind of expected it though.
Yeah. Because it looked like a VHS film, basically, like from the franchise. Keep it all that.
I don't know that old mate Ed Westwick, who played the cop, should have got top billing. I think probably should have gone to the presenter or Katja.
Yeah. They're the two strongest, absolutely. What was your favorite kill, Vanessa? We don't want to shy over that. That's okay. But...
Oh, it was the chainsaw for me.
Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no, said earlier, So, but Ed Westwick, very symmetrical, conventionally attractive, in shape policeman.
Unfortunately, not very memorable.
Yeah, exactly.
Bland, right?
Yeah, bland. If it has someone who's a bit, not even disheveled, but someone who's just got a bit of stuff going on inside, and when he goes to this inside world, and that could flare stuff up within himself, and we see a bit of a struggle going on there, then we see potential mirror reflection between him and the presenter, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then we've got this whole psychological game between the two that can be played out. Yeah, there's places, interesting interesting places something like this could go. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, the other strong performer in this was Andrew McGilligan, who played Sasha, the guy with the beard, with the blanket over his head that was giving him
Oh, yeah, he did very well.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yes.
I mean, it helps that he's a middle-class, middle-aged white guy with a beard. Yeah, no, I thought he was a really strong character. I don't know that anyone else really stuck out to me.
No, Rory was, that was Parker Green.
Yeah.
Sasha,
None of them have got a particularly big back catalogue of horror either.
No, I think we've mentioned, the two.
Yeah. So, I liked his faceless minions. That was nice, like having the guys in the background with the masks on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I liked him and his goons. It sort of drew parallels with the Joker a bit for me.
Yeah, I was hesitant to say, but it is, isn't it? Yeah. And if our cop man would have, been a bit more not all together, you could have had a Batman Joker type thing going on, potentially. Yes. Yeah.
I will also call out my favorite part of the film, which is the presenter's mask, the Commedia dell'arte mask that he's wearing. Spectacular choice. I don't know whether it was a production choice or whether it was his choice. I've been trying to track down exactly which mask it is.
I was about to ask,
but I think it's been made specifically for the show it's been inspired by other masks. The closest I could get was maybe a Scaramouche, but the nose isn't long enough.
Okay, that's the one. I was trying to think of the name. Thank you.
Or that was as close as I could get with it. But it's a really nice mask, and he does some spectacular work.
You see, it's handcrafted.
Yeah.
Being a Shakespearean lad that he is, my guess is that he chose this himself.
Probably.
Yeah, I imagine he put his whole look together potentially. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one image that I could find that was as close, other than Scaramouche, where'd we go? I had it here and now it's gone. But I found an image from an old Italian play where the actor is wearing a red jacket. They're wearing the mask with the large nose, and they're also wearing that black headscarf underneath it. So it's almost exactly what he's wearing. Just the mask is different. But great choice.
Absolutely.
I really want to see now a slasher who wears Commedia dell'arte mask.
Yes. I like that a lot. Masks are huge again. So let's bring some history into it. Yeah. Eggers, what are you up to? After your werewolf thing. There you go. Yeah. Medieval marketplace set slasher with Commedia dell'arte characters directed by Robert Eggers. Yeah. So the historical accuracy would be through the roof. Just quickly, Kugler wants to talk to Eggers about doing a horror film because they're both the historical accuracy lunatics in Hollywood at the moment. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned that on Sinners, but just want to mention it now. If those two got together, my God. Yeah. Anyway, DarkGame.
But yes, did we pick the little the small twist at the end? Oh, hang on, before we answer that, children, we're gonna spoil some of the ending. Go away and watch it, or don't. That's entirely up to you, but it's on you. You can't complain. And you're back. Brilliant, excellent. Did we like did we pick or like the fake out of the fake the person in the chair wasn't the presenter?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I had a feeling it would go that way, honestly.
Yeah, I had that feeling as well, and it's fine. It's because it is so very much expected, but they set it up to end that way. And if they did get a sequel out of this, and you could take some of our notes and build up this world and make it darker and less of the cop stuff. I'd be here for it. I'd be seated. Definitely.
If they make more of these, I'll definitely be watching.
So yes, the plot holes that I found online, you can't destroy a padlock with one bullet. The thing that keeps coming up over and over again in the various notes for this is that there's no way a local police department would be in charge of this. It would be an FBI thing.
Yeah. God, yes.
I did have a laugh when they were saying, is this real or is it AI? And they said they were going to check, what was it, the lighting? And they were going to check the pixels. And I just, that's just silly.
3D Max modeling from 2004.
Yeah.
But
it was a zero budget film. I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. again. I would recommend it to people that would just want to have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
It's not going to win any Oscars.
But if you're into dark game, dark web based movies, horror, absolutely. I mentioned Unfriended Dark Web. If you enjoyed that, you would enjoy this because that was me to a T. Yeah, yeah. And so more of these, Peter. More of these, Peter. Definitely.
Yeah. The darker the better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, do we want to do our ratings? What did you think of it, Soxy?
Oh, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. I had a lot of fun. I really loved the villain. Like I said, I just wanted a little bit more of those kill scenes or a little more gore, even just a bit more blood. But, I think the next one's going to be even better.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point if they get a big budget.
Yeah, potentially. And show us how more people get into the game as well, perhaps. Yeah.
It was a bit pat. Like it was really easy for them to work out how the people were being picked up. Should have been harder.
Yeah. Look at some Saw films. Look at Jigsaw, that sort of thing. Yeah. But keep the villain, keep the actor. That's your goal. That's your golden ticket to creating a decent little franchise here.
100%.
Yeah. Theatre matters.
What about you, Mr. Popcorn?
3. Absolutely.
3?
I give it a 3. It was satisfying. I enjoyed that. I wasn't blown away, but my horror heart, it was fulfilled from it satisfyingly. So 3 out of 5.
Okay. Yeah, look, I think I'm also going to give it a 3. I can't give it higher than a 3 just because it did suffer from the budget.
I want to give it a 3.5.
Yeah. But there have been other films with smaller budgets that have been made better.
That's the thing.
So I think I could feel the budget in this. If they'd used if more of the film had shown up than money on the screen, I think it would have been a higher rating.
It's more of the film than the money. Yeah, that says a lot.
But I mean, for example, look at Terrifier. Like that had a budget of 53 cents, and that first was spectacular.
Yeah.
You could not tell that their budget was the smell of an oily rag.
Yeah, totally. So this can be done. It is achievable. T's and I's, cross and dots.
So for those people out there, and I seem to be doing this more often than anything else, the way I'd have written this, I wouldn't have made him a police detective. I'd have made him someone that lost someone to the game and was doing this from his apartment with a murder board with red string.
Yeah, or even an ex-cop, disgraced or something like that. Yeah. But far more we needed a protagonist in this. We did not have a protagonist.
He was bland. He made no impact.
Well, Karcher was we needed a hero, basically.
Yeah.
We did actually need a hero for this one. Need a hero.
Oh, good. Yes. So look, it's a solid 3 from us, which is good.
Yeah, children. That's a satisfying film.
It is.
Yeah,
horror. This is the middle class of horror. Horror needs films like this. Yeah, to keep it moving, to keep it going. Yeah, definitely.
Any recommendations?
Yeah, I will second the Baron's recommendation from our last episode, Bloodlines, if it came out before this. Murderbot. I watched the first episode last night, and it's cool. It's Apple TV. They have that ultra polished. You know how Apple TV has this color palette when it comes to their sci-fi work. You know what I mean? It's not overly polished, but it's very clean. It's very pretty. They like to do that. Look at Severance, for example. You know what I mean? It has that production look to it. There is some darkness to it because I'm waiting for Alexander Skarsgård for what's his name? Secbot.
SecUnit.
SecUnit. Thank you. I'm waiting for him to get dark. And also there's David Desmalchian. He plays an enhanced human being, and he's playing his little goth horror boy thing because he's he's in the future on another planet, but he's got the black nail polish. Way to represent there, David. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's great in it as well, as always. He's one of my favorites now. That man, absolutely.
I really like David Desmalchian.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's so cool as an actor and a human being. He's a jewel of horror. And it's a fun film. The comedy is actually really funny. The comedy is very funny. The way Alexander's playing his character as the robot, the way he structures his sentences to sound like a human. It's not that cliched, I am talking like this, he will relay a perfectly well-structured sentence and then have like, I'm relaying a well-structured sentence, don't you think? He'll finish off quickly like a string of words that don't match the rhythm of the rest of the sentence. So it's very subtle how it's done. And I look forward to seeing more of it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So yeah, I second the Baron's recommendation for Murderbot on Apple TV.
Soxy, anything else?
Yeah, well, if we're doing recommendations, going along the line of online kills, I guess you could say, I'm going to recommend My Little Life from 2002. This is the sort of film that people either really loved or really hated. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, what's it called again?
My Little Eye from 2002. Basically, a group of people, they all answer an ad to be in a sort of Big Brother situation, but it's all webcams through the house, and I've
heard of this.
They get bumped off throughout, and there's a lot of things going on, and it was filmed in a very interesting way for its time. Hence, people either loved it or hated it. But if you like the whole watching people die on the internet webcam sort of thing, it's worth checking out.
I think Colours of the Dark, Rebecca and Elric have mentioned this film and given it its praise as well. Yeah, yeah. So nice.
All right. Yeah, no, good. I've got a book. It's not horror, but it's cyberpunk, called Snow Crash by Neil Stevenson. It is a really, really good novel. It's got that lovely dark cyberpunk edge to it.
I like cyberpunk a lot. I'm an old school Neuromancer reader from when I was a kid. Is this new?
Neuromancer, you'll like Neil Stevenson.
Is this new cyberpunk or old?
No, it's... Oh, hang on. Jeez, I think it's from the 90s.
Okay. Because the game made Cyberpunk, what was it, 2077? Yeah. Whatever that game was called. That made Cyberpunk real popular again, but a whole bunch of people running around going, oh, I'm a cyberpunk. You haven't read Neuromancer, okay? Read Neuromancer before you call yourself a cyberpunk. Thank you. That's
that's a good point.
Just a little gripe. You don't know about the genre from a game. Go back to where the game got its source from. Yeah,
I don't like being a gatekeeper, but I
don't want being a gatekeeper there. But go.
No, it's not. I was witness to someone saying, "Have you got any of that Cure brand clothing?"
You mean Topshop?
Yeah. So yes,
Cure brand. But no, he wore black, so he didn't have to wash his clothing. That's the only reason the Cure originally wore black. They did not ask for the goth label. I'll stop you.
But no, you're right. Like if you're going to be in cyberpunk, at least do some reading
because it's
find out what it's about. It's brilliant. It's great.
These original source texts are amazing. Yeah. That's why it's still around 50 years later.
Yeah, you can start low on like Ready Player One, and then just sort of ease your way into it.
And then when you do this with all these movies you saw growing up, like the Matrix trilogy, will make a hell of a lot more sense. Yes, all of that will resonate with you far stronger. Trust me. As will the goddamn game. Okay, yeah. Stop.
And that's Mr. Popcorn's rant hour over. So look, any plugs there, Soxy and Mr. Popcorn?
Soxy?
Oh, plugs. Well, I would like to plug Limelight Theatre here in Perth. Let me get the dates because they have a production of Frankenstein coming up in July. Ooh. So tickets are on sale now.
Cool.
It is July 10th to 26th. So that's Limelight Theatre here in Perth.
Fantastic.
Okay, great.
I'm pretty sure the same one's coming this way as well. I think it's the one touring the country. Is that what you're referring to? Or is it just Perth specific?
I think this one might be Perth specific.
Okay. All good.
So that's Limelight Theatre in Nauru in Western Australia.
Yeah.
Nice.
Popcorn?
Evil Corp, Escape Manor, as always. And I will throw in Ipswich Little Theatre. I'll make that a trilogy now. And nothing else at the moment. Wait with bated breath to see if I am cast as Eeyore.
That'd be nice.
That's all.
Look, I will always call out Improv Queensland, Act React, and Supernova. Keep an eye out on the Improv Queensland webpage. We've got some Anywhere Theatre Festival shows. I'm going to be in the show called Sports Ball, which is for those people that both love and hate sports. So you can guess which one of those I fall into. So time to sign off, folks. Soxy, if you want to go first.
It's always been a pleasure, and I look forward to the next one.
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Popcorn, thinking about the fact that if they brought back actual gladiators, and I mean like Colosseum-style gladiatorial battles, I'd be into sport then. Thank you for joining us. See you next time, Baron.
Go to bed, children. Go to bed.